Howdy and welcome. It's April, and this month we're talking about relationships. We're actually going to be talking about our relationships with our spouses first. What does that have to do? I'll start off by saying I'm not a life coach. Nope, I'm a business coach. But being in business as a woman bleeds over into every element of your life. And so today I thought we'd talk about this question that I hear quite often. And honestly, I don't always answer it. I don't always answer it because I'm not a relationship coach, right? But I think there's some important things to talk about. And I'll share with you my personal story. I've been an entrepreneur for almost 11 years, come May 7th. Yay, excited. I did have at one point in time, my husband look at me and say, I don't know why anybody would pay you to do what you do. And he didn't mean it in a cruel way. I mean, I have a very good husband. Didn't mean it in a cruel way. He truly did not understand what I do or why people needed me. Now, I'm confident enough that I could look at him and I think I laughed. And I said, that's okay. You're not my ideal client anyways. And then we started having a conversation because it showed me that he had no idea what I do. And here's what I know about women in business. Is a lot of women are great entrepreneurs because they're problem solvers. Because they see a problem and they get in there and they fix it. But sometimes we are down the road of entrepreneurship and we've kind of left our spouses hanging out behind us. And so a lot of things can happen. I will let you know that spousal support is one of those unspoken success markers, right? Spousal support. And here's the reason why. Is because you as a woman in business, put out so much. There's so much of you that you lay on the line. And I don't think guys in business go through this kind of personal attachment to the work that we're doing. But I think for women, we bare our souls to such a huge, vulnerable level when we go into business. And that can be really great, and it can have great results in your business. Great things can come of that. Or people can trample on it, not knowing what it is. And so there's this personal kind of relationship that I think you as a business owner do need to lay it out on the line when you're out in the business world. But you need to have some safe haven, some safe place to come back to, some place to recharge. That's why taking time and managing your time so that you're working on yourself or you've got time for your family or other aspects of your life is so important, because it's probably going to take you longer than you thought it would. Doesn't have to be harder. Chances are it's going to take you longer than you thought it would in building your business to get to this success marker. And so that's why one of the reasons why even my mastermind's talking about time management. And we're starting with personal first, not the business, because it is one of those just success markers that you've got to be able to sustain being in business. But if I have seen businesses to where the wife was talented, the wife could be more successful than she was and wanted to be, but where the lack of spousal support pulled them back and pulled them down and sometimes pulled them under. And I think, in relationships, we have a full spectrum, right? I tend to deal with people who are good at their heart. Maybe they have actions that go wrong, but at their heart, they're good. And so I see this relationship or this lack of support actually coming from a really good place. And I wanted to talk to you about that today. So this is going to be a little bit of a 2-for-1 here. I'm going to try to talk to my women entrepreneurs first, and then I'm going to try to talk to their spouses. So if you like what you're about to hear, maybe you want to read it all the way through, then bring your husband back and have him watch the second half or have him watch it all. I don't care. I just hope to help everyone understand each other better and what each other's coming from a motivational standpoint. And so if we look at this, by the way, I'm Leslie Hassler, your Biz Rules Business Coaching. We're at Coaching from the Carpool. I just dug right into today's topic. And we're talking about relationships this month, the month of April, because it's my anniversary month. At the end of this month, I will be married to my husband for 18 years. So I've been an entrepreneur for 11. He's been with me for a lot of this realm. So I've walked in a lot of shoes. But let's just talk about what women want from their husbands. All right. And I'm going to generalize here, looking at trends that I see. So you can agree or not agree. This is just what I see. So the first thing I think is, as women, we go home and we want our husbands to understand our value in our business and what we're doing. And I think we look to our husbands to do that because, A, they've already made a commitment to us, right? And 2, we need affirmation. There's no bigger doubt builder than a woman in business. And I think I can say that over men. We build up doubt like crazy. And I told my husband, I was like, man, yesterday I'm on top of the world. Today I'm doubting it all, right? And I think that's just a part of being a woman, and as well as energy management and time management, guys. It all plays into this. But I think that's number one is we want our husbands to see our value, because sometimes on a day-to-day, building the business is a lot harder than we thought. We doubt ourselves. We're looking for affirmation. I think the other part of it is that we want somebody we can come home to bounce our ideas off of, to share maybe some of those insecurities, to have somebody say, I don't know what you're talking about, woman. You're awesome. You're great. Go out and do it, right? I have my notes. But we want somebody that we can also bounce ideas off of. I don't know a single person that wants to make a poor decision, right? Wants to have a painful choice. Although sometimes those are the choices that teach us so much more than staying safe. And I think at the end of the day, I know that so many women want to have a positive financial impact in their business. They just never understood the financial commitment it's going to take in the business to generate that financial impact. It's going to take money or time, right? And it really comes down to which of it can last the longest. I'm going to say that's not the road I want you to travel. I'm just saying that's typically what happens. And so I really believe husbands, if you think about it, what do our husbands want? Our husbands want their wives to be happy. You know, my husband's favorite phrase that he walks around the house and he's like, what am I teaching you boys? Happy wife, happy life. Well, thankfully, I'm not a wife that abuses that or takes that to advantage. But there's that concept of really just wanting wives to be happy. That's probably why they supported the business in the first place, because they were like, sounds great, go be happy, right? And then we come home with all the doubt, with all the indecision, with the crying, with the disappointment, with the anger and the frustration that we might be experiencing in our business, which is perfectly normal, but we come home and we like bleh, vomit it all over our spouses. So our husband's kind of stuck with this point of, well, what do I do with this? Right? What do I do with this? And I think in a lot of ways they just want to protect you, right? Which turns into being a lack of support. Or that's the way it feels. It feels like a lack of support. I don't think that's really what it is. I think it is our spouses trying to protect in the only way they know how. And sometimes that's by playing the devil's advocate, by poking holes in things, by seeing out all the million ways that it can't work. When as entrepreneurs, we tend to be a little bit more optimistic in our approach, and it can feel like somebody's bashing your idea or bashing your baby. So I really think in a lot of ways, it's not a lack of support. It's a miscommunication. So here's kind of what I think if you're going through this with your husband, if you're at that point in time to where if you make an investment in your business, your husband's not supportive of that, I think we haven't set them up to be supportive in some ways because we're figuring it out just as much as they are, right? And this was, I told you that comment with my husband, right? That was kind of one of those things of going, well, I don't need you to 100% understand. Here's what I need from you. And I laid it out, right? I laid out what I needed from him. I also do need him to play devil's advocate. It works to my advantage to have him play devil's advocate, or at least to think through my thinking through things. There's been a couple times this year we've had to make some big shifts and I've had to make some big decisions. And I just needed to say, okay, this is what's going on. This is what I've thought about. This is what I'd like to do. Do you see anything I've missed? Do you see anything that I've missed? What are my holes? And that lets him play devil's advocate, right? But it also tells him what I'm looking for from him. I'm not looking for him to solve my problem. I'm looking for him to make sure that I've thought all this way through, because sometimes I'm too close to the actual issue that I'm working on. I think the other part of it is educating my husband to a certain extent. I don't tell him everything, but I do talk about major commitments, financial commitments that I'm going to make in my business with my husband. And here's the key. I'm not looking for his approval. I'm not looking for him to say yes, because at the end of the day, God love my husband. He's not an entrepreneur. He's not a risk taker, right? It is, I'm the risk taker in the business and in the relationship too. So I don't expect him to be able to make the best decisions for my business. I just want his support in going, is my thinking sound? I've got a comment popping up and saying, this is brilliant. Amy saying, this is brilliant. And she's right. She's talking about imperating and its communication. And that's the thing about business for women. This is the thing about business. People talk about work-life balance as if they are oppositional forces in our world. And I don't know about you, but this is my work life. This is my work life, right? And it takes a lot of teamwork to make this happen, and have it happen in a very healthy way. And as a mom, I will say it's almost like you have two separate children, and they're really unique and they're really cool and they have different goals and they respond differently, and different things make them thrive and different things make them sink. And it's not my job to choose one or the other. It's my job to ensure that they're both healthy and whole and that we're moving forward. So I think this is going to be one of our conversation points for today. And I don't even think we're going to solve it here. But it is about helping our have better relationships all the way through our businesses, because leveraging people is a major point of growth for a lot of small businesses. Lynette's saying, I'm glad my husband's my cheerleader. And he is, because I've talked to him. I know he's her cheerleader, and it makes all the difference, doesn't it, Lynn? To have somebody that's got your back. But I'm just saying, ladies, be fair in what you're bringing home. Don't just talk about all the bad stuff and what's going wrong and being emotional. Share the good stuff too, right? Share the good stuff and be clear in what kind of communication that you're asking from your husband and what your expectations were. I know I was talking with a friend yesterday, and I always share what's going on in my life and what I've had to deal with, because I think that's how we learn together. But I know at one point in time, maybe a couple of years ago, I was having the money talk with my husband. I hate the money talk. And I finally looked and I recognized it. I said, you're trying to keep me safe, aren't you? He's like, yeah. And I was like, I totally get it. I totally get it. And I thank you for that. Thank you for trying to protect me, because you're my husband. I kind of like that. He's 6'4". He's bigger than me. I'm not a small girl. I kind of like that protection feeling. And I said, however, the way we're having this conversation makes me want to crawl into a hole and shrink. It just makes me want to shrink, and I can't do my good work if I'm shrinking. So we need to try to change this conversation. Now, I hated it at the time, but I suppose I should thank my father for making me read The Art of the Argument at like 16. Hated every minute of it, but it has shifted how I have conversations. So if you've got that conversation going on in your home, and you're just wanting to be successful in your business, know that we have to start shifting the conversation, right? And we have to start being really clear on, when you say this, I feel like this. It would be really helpful if you could do this and be very concrete. And like I said, if you're having really if you're having relationship issues that are more than just miscommunication, but they need some help, get some help, because entrepreneurs are a little crazy. And this is one reason why I think my mastermind is so impactful, is entrepreneurship is a little crazy. And we need people around us that understand our brand of crazy. Right? And Amy's sitting here. We want to talk things out, sort through options. Yep. And here's the other thing is, I love the love languages, Amy. Here's the other thing. I'm a verbal processor. And I will tell my husband, I just need to verbally process this. Can I get you a beer while I go on into a monologue, right? Or I just need you to listen. I don't need anything here. So know that. And it's, it is a little bit, Amy's saying me too, verbal processor, right? It is a little bit of, I was thinking about this earlier, men are from Mars and women are for Venus. We're just different. And that's great. That's actually what makes us really good in business, right? Is the ability to solve problems and approach things differently. And it's one of these calls, my core calls to action, if you will, that I'm listening to in my own space, is that women need to do business as women can do business, not as it has been defined to us up to now. It's time to rewrite these rules and embrace what we're really good at, but also not in a way that's about bashing or bringing down or displacing the people in our lives. Because I will tell you, I could not do what I do on a daily basis if it wasn't for the support of my husband. And so in order for me to be successful, I need him. I need him to have my back, and if I have to let go of a VA and I'm like, can you step in? I want a husband that's going to be like, yeah, what do you want me to do? Right? So that is kind of the power I think I have in my husband, and that I want each of us to have in our spouses as we define this business. But we're going to have to approach some things in a little bit different way. We're going to have to know that just as you're learning skills to become a better entrepreneur, our husbands are having to learn along with us. We are in the wild, wild west, and a lot of people have never been there before. So that's it for today, guys. Like I said, April, it's my month of love, my anniversary month. And so we're going to be talking about relationships in all sorts of ways. If you have a specific way you'd like to handle something, or a specific question that you are coming up against in your business with all your different relationships, let me know. I would be happy to answer some of those in our Coaching from the Carpool series this month. But that's it for today. That went fast, and I feel like it was a lot, but that's okay because I got your back, right? So this has been Leslie Hassler with Your Biz Rules Business Coaching. We've been coaching from the carpool. We're here most Tuesdays and Thursdays, about 2:45. If this has been an impactful episode for you, please comment, like, heart, Facebook likes hearts more than thumbs ups, and share it with people that you think need to hear it. Until then, this is Leslie Hassler. May your week be profitable, and we'll be talking with you soon.